Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. In 1972, we had the pleasure of seeing John Wayne star in another one of his Western films called The Cowboys. In supporting roles, you had Roscoe Lee Brown and Bruce Dern, and it featured Colleen Dewhurst and Slim Pickens. Robert Carradine was also in the film, and this was his film debut. The movie is based on a novel from 1971 that had the same name by William Dale Jennings. The screenplay was put together by Irving Ravitch and Harriet Frank. The writer of the novel, Jennings, also helped write this adaptation to film. The project was directed by Mark Rydell. The storyline goes that when his cattle drivers abandon him for the hope of making it rich in the gold fields, rancher Will Anderson becomes forced to take on a collection of young boys to drive his herd in order to get them to market to keep him from having financial ruin. These boys quickly learn how to do a man's job under his guidance. But the problem is neither Anderson nor the boys know that a gang of cattle thieves is stalking them. The production earned somewhat mixed reviews from critics, and I myself think it's a pretty good film. It also received a lot of praise because of its musical score and John Wayne's performance in it. But several of the critics debated the film's implication that boys become men or confirm their manhood through acts of violence and vengeance. These critics sometimes just blow me away. This is a movie, and movies don't always fit in to your mindset as a person. John Wayne being aware that he often had repetitive screen roles as a paternal figure. And this movie was no different. It was based on a formula that worked for him. John Wayne didn't hesitate at all to appear in the movie, despite the fact that most actors in their right mind would try to work with 11 kids making a feature film. But for him, he thought it was one of the greatest experiences of his life. Now, despite their political and social opinion differences, Wayne and Roscoe Lee Brown loved poetry, and many times between takes, they would sit and quote each other's favorite verses. In the beginning, Brown was urged by his friends not to go to work with Wayne because Wayne was known to be very right-wing. He ignored everything they said and decided to make the film with him, and the two actors had a great time on the set. They just never discussed politics at all. And you see this quite often in John Wayne films. Everybody knows that he was a staunch Republican, but he worked with some pretty left-wing people throughout his career, and in very few instances was it ever a problem. Bruce Dern was asked if he was intimidated by working with Wayne for the first time, and he said he could have really been that way, except for the fact that Wayne came up to him and said, "Hey, I want you to do me a favor." Wayne told him that from now on, consider me to be somebody that you can publicly kick the crap out of 24 hours a day on this set. Because Wayne wanted these kids that were playing the Cowboys to be absolutely terrified of him. So Dern really had the run of the set and could do and say just about what he wanted to John Wayne. Wayne pled with the director Mark Rydell because he wanted the part of Will Anderson so bad. But once again, these two people were so opposite, it couldn't be more apparent. And the director told him, "How in the world are we going to work together? I hate everything you stand for politically, and you despise all my liberal thoughts and points of view." Wayne ended up telling him that what they could do is just do nothing but talk about acting and leave politics or discussions like that completely out of the equation. The two got along grand after that, and the director expressed later on that working with John Wayne in this project was one of the greatest experiences of his life. And he even admitted that he had misjudged John Wayne. He found him easy to work with, friendly, and a warm person deep down. Now, there was a price to pay for Dern playing the role that he plays and the fact that he shoots and kills John Wayne in the film. His daughter, Laura, has said that some of her friends' parents ended up actually canceling play dates with her because her father had played this part in the film. And it's also said that shortly after the project's release, Dern received death threats for playing this character, primarily for shooting John Wayne in the back. And he even said that almost 5 years later, when he was making another film, people were still giving him a hard time for playing this role. The January 28th edition of Life magazine from 1972 featured John Wayne on its cover with a photo spread and an article about this movie with the cover story title, John Wayne, Memories of a G-Rated Cowboy. It's quite odd that one of the photos inside was a headshot of Frank DeCova, who the caption said was playing an Indian in the film. He's not in this finished movie, nor is he on record anywhere else as being in the cast. Now, Sarah Cunningham plays John Wayne's wife in the film. She does a great job. She's the perfect wife for this gruff cowboy. She was known as a film, stage, and television actress, but her film career wasn't a huge one. Her television presence was a different story. She was in tons of TV shows. But one thing that makes her really stand out is what happened to her on March 24th, 1986. During the 58th Academy Awards, she was attending them while she collapsed and died at the event. She has the dubious title of being the first person to ever die at the Academy Awards. Go back and watch this really good John Wayne film. I think you might enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.